It's time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online for all your website needs at sonicwebstudios.com. The Mike Wagner Show brings you interesting people doing interesting things all across the globe. Now, let's get started on the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking a budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Evan Fine of the Senior Reserve Group. When you start thinking about retirement, who you can call about Medicare? Why call the best? Evan Fine of Senior Reserve Group, specializing in Medicare, health, and long-term care insurance. Evan can be reached at 1-800-650-9357. That's 1-800-650-9357. Or email to evanfine@seniorreservegroup.com. Evan is licensed in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware, South Carolina, and Florida. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen to The Mike Wagner Show on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and also watch the interview on YouTube as well. We have a very special lady from California. She was raised in Texas. She's a paraprofessional teacher of 17 years in the Los Angeles area, working with disabled children, also abused, and also she is also speaker, psychologist, actress, and a author and publisher of 3 children's books. So she's got a lot going on right now, and she believes in the power of positivity, and of course, she's got angels all over and making sure that she gets the message out there as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, from Los Angeles, California, the city of angels, literally the city of angels, Gina Ann. Gina, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is so exciting. I'm so honored.
Oh, it's great. Well, you're welcome and glad to have you on board. So you've been a paraprofessional teacher for 17 years in the Los Angeles area, working with disabled children and also with learning disabilities, abused, and just, everything possible. Physical, special ed, and many things. You've been a speaker, psychologist, and also an actress. You appear in a couple of films, and you also published 3 children's books we love to hear about. And very wonderful character named Jojo. We'd like to hear all about it. But first of all, tell us how you got started in show business.
Well, I think we all act in our life, and we've all been other characters, or we've had imaginary friends, and so it's always been a passion, but also what intrigued me about the acting world is it's a really beautiful way to be able to express your emotions. I also teach acting to children for that purpose as well. Sometimes when you're another character, you can express those emotions because that's what you want to do. We want to feel them. Because once you suppress and repress them, it manifests in some other way. Being repressed, either it leads to chemical dependency or some other vice trying to relieve the pain.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And of course, you teach them with many ways of doing so. And what are some of the methods that you use when it comes to teaching children?
Well, I have so many modalities. I mean, it's not a cookie cutter way. So every child that's before me, I really read and sense and listen, heart listen to them, even if they can't communicate. So I could better assist them so they could be productive in life, because we all have gifts. Mm-hmm. So whatever their challenge is, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, there's so many modalities, obviously acting, role playing, action steps. There's so many modalities. Like I said, if you give me an example, I wrote an article for the Huffington Post and just touching upon some different ways that I am able to assist others in showing their gifts to the world and believing in their gifts. Because sometimes our greatest challenge is our greatest gift.
Mm-hmm. And of course, I was just going to ask what you've seen these gifts as well, too. So we'll get to that part. And of course, you were born and raised in Texas, and you play with pet alligators. So just tell us about the lovely little alligator. And I hope you didn't name it Jojo.
No. His name actually was Charlie, and we lived on 60 acres of just land, and there were 2 ponds, and Charlie was in one of them. And so I would go down to the pond and write poetry and talk to Charlie. And I mean, we had snakes. And so a lot of my books, when I introduce these characters, they're usually characters that are perceived as bad, and I don't really believe in bad or good or right or wrong. And I would reframe them so they're positive. So the Jojo books are really just to empower children to believe in themselves, that we're not alone, that what you're feeling is okay and it's great.
Mm-hmm.
And, self-care, and to love oneself regardless if you're different from somebody else.
Mm-hmm. And of course, there's also many ways as well, too. Of course, you've been doing some mentoring for quite some time, and
Yes.
you also hold a master's degree in spiritual psychology. So, and of course, what influenced you into teaching as well?
Well, I've always loved children since I was a young girl, and I always wanted to be a mom, which I am. I have 2 children, and I was always teaching my little brothers. I had a chalkboard, and I think it was just something was in my soul purpose. And because as I teach, I'm also the student.
Mm-hmm.
I learn as much, and I get just as much as I give out.
Mm-hmm. And I think you also have an interesting journey as well, too. Comes being a child yourself, and of course, what led you into in special ed and everything else. So, it sounded like you had quite a few in your area, or was it just mainly just pets that you associate with?
I'm sorry, you blocked out for a moment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I hope it's not the atmosphere or anything like that, but I guess what I was just getting with when it comes to the children and everything else, did you have like a lot of children in your area that you lived in, or was it mainly pets in your area that you played with?
Oh no, I mean, I didn't have many friends. Usually it was just family, but yes, I had pets, and there was animals, and really it was my imagination.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always writing stories or poetry or talking to the animals. And of course I babysat, and I would help out in school as well, in the library, and assist others. So I was always in service to others, and I always embraced the inner child, because we all have that. We all have our inner child in there. So whether you are 2 years old or 200, I can immediately see your inner child. Because that's where it begins.
I guess I do fit in that range between 2 and 200. So I hope 200. That's all I could say. I guess we'll have to play at that one. So we'll get to more in just a minute. You're listening to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking a budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, it's also brought to you by the Evan Fine Group of Senior Reserve Group. When you start a business or own a business for a while, who are you going to call for sole proprietorship insurance? Why not call the expert, Evan Fine of Senior Reserve Group? He also specializes in Medicare, health, and long-term care insurance. Evan can be reached at 1-800-650-9357. That's 1-800-650-9357. Or Evan Fine at seniorreservegroup.com. Licensed in 7 states in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware, South Carolina, and Florida. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on MikeWagnerShow.com. Also on Facebook at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and listen as well. You can watch the interview on YouTube also. We're here with paraprofessional teacher of Los Angeles for 17 years, speaker, psychologist, actress, and a little bit of a singer, and she published 3 children's books. It is Gina Ann of the Los Angeles area in the City of Angels. So let's talk about the 3 books that you have in the Jojo series. Oh No Jojo, Jojo, and the Bayou Bully Frog, and Jojo Meets Christo the Bat. So first of all, tell us about Jojo and how it got started.
Oh, well, Jojo is a fairy angel, and she is new to this planet. She comes from the galaxy, the Wings of Children, and she is here to do good and to assist others. And she's actually just embracing the inner child. And how it came about, it was my second year project when I was taking spiritual psychology, and I was unable to find an illustrator. I had the vision, I dreamt of her, couldn't find anyone, so I called Hay House, and they asked, well, may I see your manuscript? I'm sure. And so they published it, and their sister company, Balboa Press, did my illustrations. So I really wanted creative control over, because I had the vision of what I wanted her to look like and all the characters, and so I published, and they wanted me to do a series. So I have 2 more in the works. The next one is Jojo and Bobo joins the sea circus, and Jojo rides the rails with Gypsy Go-Go and Hobo Joe. Because I've actually hopped a freight train 3 years ago.
Oh, really? You hopped on the freight train 3 years ago?
Yes, I did. I hopped a freight train because, like Mark Twain, I wanted to show my students that we were reading about Mark Twain and all the adventures, and so I experienced it. And so I'm going to write a book with Jojo.
And you hopped on the train, so what prompted you to do that? And tell us all about it. I'd love to do that one day, just hop on a train like Mark Twain and go on a Mojo with Jojo. Oh, I get so tongue-tied after this. I need coffee.
Jojo. Oh, no, Jojo? Well, it's just something that I wanted to do and bring an example, and it was really like a documentary, and it was filmed and recorded, and it was just a beautiful experience. One of my greatest memories. And so I think our books reflect our memories. And I just wrote a post today that came forward as memory is my greatest artist.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Wow, that's amazing too. And of course, you also got Jojo and the Bayou Bully Frog. You can just tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. You know, that was from. We've all encountered bullies, or maybe you have bullied. Well, it's looking from the perspective of that bully, because sometimes they're hurting. It's never condoning the behavior, but it's to show that there's something within a bully in their acting out that needs to be healed as well. Again, it's not condoning the behavior, but it's just showing a different perspective on it.
And of course,
so Jojo comes in and teaches little Bayou Billy Frog some meditation and breathing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know,
and of course, with you worked with bullied students as well too. Have you worked with the bullies as well too? And what's your method of doing that?
I have, and it's really just to listen, because sometimes they're very defensive, and it's a matter of like us all feeling safe, feeling validated, and feeling loved.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoy and believe when neuroscience and quantum physics procreate with esoteric
mm-hmm.
and philosophy, that's where the magic is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get to the heart of someone, the heart, I believe that's where the healing begins. You can't think about it. You can't try. You have to feel it to
mm-hmm.
bring it up.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it takes in spiritual psychology. And of course, did you have to take any, you're talking about the quantum physics and everything, and did you have to take any science classes for that to understand it?
Yes. Science is, of course, because you have the brain, the neuroscience. I'm also it's called an access bars practitioner, which is the same thing as neuroscience, quantum physics, procreating with, esoterics and philosophy, and the 32 points on your head. Your brain is your atlas, biophotons. It's also our body works miraculously like a machine, but a beautiful